Hi everyone, welcome to another Semper Highly Creates. It's been a while since I've made one of these, and this time I am working on skulls because it's Halloween, and I'll be making a lot more. Some of these will be available on my Ko-fi page. If you could go to my Ko-fi and uh, follow me, it helps in the algorithm and gets helps me get more exposure. Also, you get to see when I create new things. Uh, but with no further ado, let's get into why I love creating. It all comes down to I have a lot of random ideas floating around in my head. If I see other people's art, I want to try to recreate or emulate what they have created. Um, I don't have a favorite topic or theme. I don't care for painting people's pets, but if there's a challenge, I will try it. I am a very much a uh, hold my beer, uh, watch this sort of uh, creator. Um, I as a teenager back in the '90s, got into comic books. Wolverine being one of my favorite characters, as well as the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles material, not the campy 1992 '93 era cartoon, but the original uh, story in comic was actually pretty dark and kind of gritty. So I got the TMNT RPG, and uh, that was sort of my gateway drug into art and character design. Uh, I spent lots of time trying to recreate the turtles as well as create my own characters. And being that I came from essentially a poor family, I couldn't afford to go to college. Uh, I gave away all my artwork, never really understood that a portfolio was a thing, so I just gave everything away because it made my friends happy. Uh, I would rather uh, give art to people who enjoyed it because that was the ultimate form of acknowledgement that somebody else was enjoying the thing you created or I created. But in generally, it's the uh, creating for the acknowledgement and uh, enjoyment of others. So over the years, I pretty much give anything and everything away. I never really thought that I was good enough to sell my art, um, even though I created lots of things over the years. I spent 5 years in the Marine Corps, and I made my own postcards that I sent home from deployment. If I was out in the field, I would write a letter on an MRE wrapper, draw on it, and then put a stamp on it and send it home. So, uh, some of my early inspiration came from like Spider-Man and Marvel, DC Comics, especially Batman Beyond and the Batman the Animated Series. Uh, so in later years, I kind of fell back on my how would you say it? My creativity kind of went on a back burner. It was more important to make ends meet. September 11th happened. I went from making a decent paycheck to next to nothing. It was a struggle, and I did everything I could to essentially survive. Not a whole lot of creativity, and then I got married, and my wife and I moved up to Washington, and after we had kids, I realized I really didn't have anything to show for my creativity. I had lots of skills. I learned woodworking, cabinet building, carpentry, uh, sculpting, plus the various forms of art that I had practiced when I was younger. So I started making things for my children. Uh, Bed frame, like I made custom bed frames. I made uh, my own furniture. I made a dragon sculpture or two. I have, and I started painting acrylic and painting miniatures, and then my children got became toddlers, and I started teaching them that creativity was a good outlet for their imaginations. And I would play Legos with them. I would build with them. I would draw with them. And I gave them their own canvases to paint on. So my goal was to teach them that art was an outlet, that it was as much a viable skill as any other skill. So my both my children are artists in their own right. Uh, so my current projects, I have these skulls that I'm working on. So there's this flaming skull, and coming up will be a sugar skull. I say that with a question mark because I'm not entirely certain that that's how it reads. But I had a commission, potential commission. I kind of decided I wasn't going to do it because they didn't want to follow through. But I made this as this playing card skull as one of the samples, and it was a sketch, and it didn't meet their cut. So I decided I was going to illustrate it anyways. This one was another sample that I had sketched, and after I sketched it, I decided I was going to illustrate it. And this one was actually one of the ones that met the cut. And the plan was I was going to do a traditional painting of a skull for the person. But it kind of fell through. But I turned this guy into an emote for my Twitch channel. I actually created a script for this, and I'm not very good at this whole script thing. So this guy was just an example of me having random things in my imagination, and I just kind of have to follow them. It's kind of like the rabbit hole theory. Don't go down the rabbit hole yet. My artwork kind of is the delving into the rabbit hole. Uh, this this thing is entirely just a random thing. I was sketching it, and it was supposed to be a skull, and it turned out to be this thing. This flaming skull was not one of the commissions. It just I trying to draw a semi anatomically correct skull, and I saw the potential for what I am creating here, the flaming fire breathing skull. And yeah, so it's Halloween when I'm making this video, and it's my favorite holiday next to Easter. Which is interesting because I'm not religious. But Easter, it has the more to do with family. I used to take my little sister to an Easter egg hunt. There's now been 3 generations of my family that have participated in the particular Easter egg hunt. So, Easter is near and dear to me. So, all of these are going to be available on my Ko-fi. So, a couple of the things I do is I make coloring pages. Most of the time, I remember to actually make a coloring page of the thing that I'm creating before I start fully illustrating it, but it is not unusual for me to completely forget and not make the coloring page. But there are several coloring pages available on my Ko-fi page. Yeah, I'm not good at this. Um, well, so I'm currently going to be painting skulls to take to our local art co-op that's here in town, and after I get 3, maybe 4 paintings done, I will take the paintings to the co-op and see if I can sell them. Because the problem with traditional painting is space. Paintings take up a lot of space, and well, one of my old high school friends once referred to making art and not displaying it as artistic masturbation, which is a kind of lewd way of saying it, but it makes sense. Uh, Art should be displayed for all to see, even if it's mildly inappropriate. It should be displayed on the appropriate place so that it can be enjoyed. Um, so I guess now I will do the obligatory like, follow, subscribe, um, follow my Ko-fi, my TikTok, my Instagram, uh, Facebook. They are all Semper Highly, uh, either spelled with an EY or uh, just HIGHLY or HIGHLEY. It depends on the number of characters. Also, there was someone who was impersonating me, and they took my spellings. Uh, so, uh, on other art mediums, I also do traditional art. I sketch. I've been drawing on or painting on acrylic, clear acrylic and glass. I have a bunch of upcycled. I cut up panels from grocery or not grocery cereal boxes and turned them into little mini canvases. And those are, when I create some more, I'll put them up as available on my Ko-fi for people to enjoy. Um, so, one of the artistic things I've been working on is lighting and shading. I struggle with it on paintings or traditional paintings. I find it much easier to work digitally. But yeah, thank you if you suffered through this whole dialogue of me rambling. I'm gonna throw in some other art videos later, and hopefully you enjoyed the process of me creating this flaming skull.